Because Nigeria, time check is 3:11 p.m. in this part of the world, Nigeria. Well, we're here. It's a beautiful afternoon. Welcome. My name is Jude. Ikami Jude. I know you usually don't hear my voice like at this time, but then I'm here because I've got some noble people around. I've got Anambra State Indigenous Lawyers Forum just right here in our studio. Are we not blessed? Oh, we're blessed. Beautiful afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. Yeah. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
I'm trying to see how beautiful your voice is outside the bench, like outside that cubicle. Well, let's get to introduce them quickly. I've got Joe Nwokedi. He is Esquire, ESQ. You see, sometimes when I hear this name, I just get to. You've done a whole lot. Beautiful afternoon to you. Welcome.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, and I've got Iwudo, right? Am I right with that name? Okay, Iwudo Malizu.
Good afternoon.
Beautiful afternoon to you. I love how you smile, Saya. Okay, I have Anene. Am I right with that name? Oh,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon to you, Saya. And I have the woman. When you see men and you see a woman amongst them, you know her. The issue is complete. I have Maka Opo Ni Ernest Okonkwo.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon to you. Let's talk Anambra. How is Anambra doing?
Anambra is good. We got a good governor. It's promising, developing the states, and things are getting better in the states.
A good governor.
Yes.
But do you think your governor is doing well? As it were?
Within the short period, he has been at the helm of affairs in the states. From every available indexes, we can say that he's on the right footing. Yes, it's a promising
And
governor, and I know with time, things will turn out tremendously for good.
Okay. In a scale of 10, how would you rate your governor?
It's still too early to have a holistic assessment of the performance of the governor presently. But like I said before, the projects he has initiated,
All right.
the interactions he has had with people, and other development indices that will eventually culminate into successful leadership.
Yeah.
We can rate him 8 to 9% out of 10%.
Okay. Now, your one-time former boss is the current APGA's presidential candidate. Am I right? Chief APGA, All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. I'm talking about Chief Peter Umadi. Umadi. He was one time Chief Judge of your state. Are you? Is the bench, or how would I call it now, in support of his ambition? Let me ask you this question.
Well, I will simply say it means the bench can transcend from the judiciary to the executive. So he's up to it.
He's up to it.
He's up to it.
Okay. Did you share same opinion?
The background that produced him, that's the bench, is basically an apolitical sector in the scheme of things in the society. So we mostly hear them in the courts. So we don't hear them in political activities and activism. But for the fact that he has summoned enough courage to migrate from the bench to partisan politics, we believe that he will deploy all the knowledge, all the awareness, all the experiences he has garnered while trying cases and handling issues at the courts into politics. So we believe he's equipped, based on his background, to try his luck at the political scene.
Okay.
Yes.
Now let me come to Anene. everything we're discussing is centered around your state, right? What's your opinion about the fact that a lawyer was dressed like a priest to court? What is your own assessment of that?
Well, basically, sometimes people want to make statements.
Or you think it's just to make a statement?
To make a statement in response to certain developments within the legal circuit. But he's entitled to his opinion. What it is has he done the right thing? Is his opinion, has it effected change? Has it in any way brought about sanity? I will leave him to think about it. Life is all about choice.
Do you think so? You what you're trying to say is that he's on his own,
Well,
like
you take
he's doing things by himself.
you take a decision that suits you. He's an adult, and then but we live by the consequences of whatever we do, good or bad. And then for him to have come to that decision, he must have thought over it, and he must have felt, this is the statement I want to make. But let posterity decide. I will not decide for
But
Okay.
is that okay? You want to add?
Yeah, in trying to extend the scope of what my learned friend has rightly said. Hey, it was a reaction to a judgment of Supreme Court. For me, I can say his name is Malcolm. He's a human rights lawyer. I know him. So he was enjoying his rights. Our rights were like expanded by a recent Supreme Court decision that's ruled in favor of the provisions of the Constitution being placed ahead of institutional rules and regulations,
All right.
having precedent over institutional rules and regulations. So it has to do with the issue of Sharia that went to Supreme Court, where Supreme Court, in their numbers, ruled that people are at liberty, at a very wide liberty to display their religious belief in any place they found themselves, in as much as it doesn't in any way affect or offend the rights of others. So the lawyer wanted to utilize that opportunity to express his freedom of, religious a kind of awareness that this is what he believes in, and it doesn't offend the provisions of the courts, even though the court has its own pattern of dressing. But because religious freedom transcends institutional rules, institutional kind of code of dressing, that he can dress like that and come to court, and court did not do him anything. So he dressed like that, appeared in Supreme Court. He dressed like that, also appeared in federal high courts, because that liberty has been expanded to the level that anybody can dress in your own religious attire by provisions of the judgment of the Supreme
All right.
Court.
Let me hold you on. Let me talk to the lady, the only lady, the boss lady. I have a document here. Let me read it. Where a 49-year-old lawyer, right? I don't know if I can get the name correctly, but then I'll try. Etomike Ndigwe, am I right?
Yes.
Was arraigned by the police authorities at an Otuocha Chief Magistrate Court in Anambra State over an alleged forgery of public document. Now, he's been tried on 3 counts of forgery: 1, conspiracy; 2, and breach of public peace, and of course offenses punishable under section 443 rather, and 114 of the Criminal Code. Now, the resident prosecutor, Richard Okoti, told the court that the accused committed the offenses on June the 29th at Aguleri in Anambra East local government area of the state. Now, one of you is forging.
It's alleged.
Alleged.
Oh, alleged.
Yes,
Oh.
it's not forged.
Oh, really?
He hasn't
He
forged.
has not been found
Guilty of that
Guilty.
offense.
So it's It's not
For
been
now,
proved.
it's still
And
an
if found
assumption.
if found guilty, what's going to happen?
He will face the law as it states.
The arm of the law will catch up with him. No one is above the law. Everybody is subject to the provisions of the law.
Now, the law.
But the lady should answer the question.
Okay.
Yes, it's true because it's still based on assumption. So, and in law, you don't assume things.
In Nigeria, when it happens, we say assumption, we say allegedly, and all of that. We use some words that
Terms.
help terminologies that helps you cover, the big deal and make it
No.
look like no, he's still being tried. And after one or two and all of that, the case dies.
It's in line. Okay. Answer.
Okay.
Like when investigations and all that, are done. Once he's found culpable, he'll face the music. He'll have to face the law. So, but for now, it's still based on assumptions. So that will be pending when.
Allegations rather.
Well, okay.
Let's quickly talk about lawyers' salary in this country. Do you think lawyers are being paid well, as it were? Are you having any issues with government giving you, your monthly salary? I mean, is it okay by you?
Who is well paid in Nigeria? Who is well paid in Nigeria? That is the question. It's all
They say all fingers are.
But you have to categorize it in a way that will be properly segmented. Some
Okay.
lawyers are in public service. Some lawyers are in private practice. Not all lawyers are under remuneration from the government.
Okay.
So those under private practice also pay. They pay their juniors. And the law firms pay according to the capacity and the level of financial muscle of the law firm.
Okay.
So some law firms pay big money. They pay over 1 million per month to some of the junior lawyers or lawyers in the office, not junior lawyers in the services of their firms.
Okay.
But struggling law firms also pay. Some pay 50, some pay 100, some pay 150. But it depends on the year of call to bar also and the experiences you have at the bar. Like somebody that just say, go look at a new week. A new week is somebody that was just recently admitted into the practice of law, who is presumed not to have been exposed in certain practices and procedures of practice before a judge, before a court, in filing motions and drafting issues. So many of things with drafting law. I don't want to bother you with them. So in that case, the principal has to also contribute in training the young lawyer and bring up the young lawyer to a level that young lawyer will be abreast with the rudiments of legal practice. So in such cases, as you are still a young wig, the money may not be much, but some law firms also pay well. There's some lawyers are in public practice, like those working under Ministry of Justice and other places that are under government. I believe as they climb up in their cadre, they also paid. But our major protest there is that they are not being paid. Our people are not being paid in commiseration with the level of efforts, struggles, and difficulties encountered in the pursuit of becoming a lawyer, especially the expensive nature of training somebody at law school, in universities, the books and other things. So mostly lawyers in public practices are not being well paid.
Okay.
They are not being paid the way they pay our counterparts in the medical profession. So we are using this medium to call on the government to improve on the amount of money they pay lawyers in public practice. Where those in private practice, I can assure you that our colleagues are paying well.
Okay. Now, I'm aware that anytime soon we will be hosting you again. But I'm just trying to take my time to see if I can ask a couple of questions before you leave. Now, maybe one last thing I want to talk about is the issue of Odumeje. You smiled, right?
So what's the issue?
Aloy Ejimako was saying that he said, that is Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. He said Odumeje was malhandled. What is your take on that?
Well, there are videos and there are pictures.
I really don't want to go into the entire story now, but I think you understand. You know what I'm talking about.
Well, I think a few of the officials were a bit they were a bit overzealous. We could see them slap him, even though the major also didn't behave quite rightly. He was given notice. So either way, the major and those tax force people erred, and I think the government called the tax force people to order.
Is Odumeje in court currently?
I do not think so. Is it? I do not think so.
I don't think so, but it is within his right. If he feels his right has been infringed, it is within his right to seek redress in court. The court will decide based on available facts made presented before the court.
But I think, according to an information, he was told that that particular area is blocking the free flow of erosion.
I know the area. I know the area very well, and I guess over time, the expansion. It was not the whole church that was destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
There was expansion going closer to the drainage, and in that particular axis, it's not. There are lots of practices that needs to be corrected around that axis. People dump refuse inside that drainage. It's a very big drainage, a tributary that runs straight to the Niger, and a lot sometimes when it's raining because of the heaps from other ends coming towards that axis, it blocks the drainage and everything comes on the road. So it also has its effects on the road. So what the government was trying to do was to make sure that drainages were free from every kind of man-made disruptions to the free flow of that drainage in order not to mess up the road. And then from available information, that the axis, if you look at the building, Odumeje's building, you find that the building the place that was knocked down was an attachment in terms of expansion to that area. And so the government believed that they had a right, that he had extended beyond where he was supposed to. But in terms of what happened, I want to say, add my voice to it, that the security operatives were overzealous.
Oh, really?
Yes, as in, you don't need to slap someone in order. You're there to carry out a function. You have security operatives with you. Also, from the videos that I saw, I don't know what Odumeje was trying to do, as in rushing to them. You can't stop a moving trailer. You know, so both sides on my own, I believe, if they had applied wisdom, restraint, we wouldn't be seeing the kind of videos we saw, and questions like this wouldn't have arisen.
All right. In case
And
you
again,
just,
okay.
in case, okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, the only place I have a little issue, because we have to be very, very sincere and very, very bold, is the issue of notice. You know, I've not had access to the rules of the states as regards serving vacation notices. You know, because if somebody, I learned that he was given 2 months notice to, you know, curb that menace, remove those things, which if it should be guided by the rules of notices in Lagos, might be considered too short. 2 months notice to, you know, abet a nuisance might be considered too short. But I'm saying that we have to know the rules of the states as what it's provided, because the government of any society must be guided by what the law says, and also must be guided by the spirit of humanity. Yes, people are bound to breach the laws of the land, but they are still human beings. You still take appropriate measures on how to deal with that issue. But on the side of Odumeje, like my learned friend here rightly said, I learned also that he was trying to confront law enforcement agencies. You know, the people that actually came to enforce that law. You don't do that. Whether it was illegally or illegally done, once a lawfully constituted authority is carrying out an operation, either from courts, either from ministry, and they are lawfully constituted authority, all you need to do is to allow them to do what they were sent to do. Then you can now approach the courts, or approach other measures to correct that anomaly, and then do that. That was the area that if he had actually resisted a lawfully constituted authority in their workplace, they might misbehave the way they do, even though it was condemnable. The actions were condemnable.
All right. Well, in case you're just tuning in, this is Voice of the People 90.3 FM, and I am actually discussing with Anambra State Indigenous Lawyers Forum. Yeah, they're here. And hey, finally, I would want to ask this question, and I want each and every one to at least say something about this. Now, lawyers collect bribe and cover up, a case that everyone knows, hey, this person was the one who was guilty. The guilty one becomes the one who is set free. In this part of the world, in this country.
Always use lawyers are alleged.
Alleged.
Don't say lawyers collect. You are indicting all the lawyers.
No, I am not. I'm not. Okay, let me use, if you want me to use
some lawyers are alleged.
Okay,
alleged.
Lawyers cannot collect.
Some lawyers
Lawyers are paid.
He may say
fees.
some lawyers. Let him respond.
Lawyers are paid fees. So you cannot equate payment of fees as collection of bribe.
Because it's not the lawyer that will decide.
What a lawyer does is to describe.
But it's alleged that you guys still do abracadabra.
We're not magicians.
Based on the facts presented.
We're not magicians.
We work based on facts.
Two things lawyers don't do. Lawyers don't collect bribes. Lawyers don't
And they don't lie.
They don't lie.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Is that true?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
To lie as a lawyer.
It's based on facts. Because what might be green to you might be blue to someone else.
Well, lawyers don't lie. They only. Let me tell you what lawyers do.
Oh, okay.
They pronounce what the law says, and the problem where we have a challenge. 95% of people don't know what the law is, so they go by the dictates of their common sense or what they believe their mindset actually configured. Like telling me somebody stole something from you, they will say prove it. You start saying, hey, somebody stole something. I know he stole something, and you're not saying I should prove it. Court doesn't. Anybody can come and say that somebody stole his things, even though somebody stole something belonging to you. There are provisions in the criminal administrative or criminal justice system on how you can prove somebody guilty. If you are not able to build in that your allegation of the fact that somebody stole those things within the provisions of administration of criminal justice system, the act, the law will set that person free. And what the lawyer is interested in is to make sure that your allegation falls within the provisions of the law. If the allegation you are giving does not fall, like somebody said that somebody saw somebody around 8 o'clock, beat somebody up, or stabbed him to death. They said around 8, he said yes. No, that person stabbed the person to death. But can you see somebody at a certain distance by 8 stabbing somebody?
Hold on.
It's already night.
Hold on. Why then? Maybe you want me to use the word allegedly again.
Yes.
Now. Yes, right? Okay, no.
So you only when you are left, why a lawyer is always on two sides of a case, but it doesn't stop somebody from going to prison.
But why then do you drag a case like till eternity?
Because somebody, have you heard about the magazine that says that it is better to free 99 criminals than to imprison one innocent soul? The cry of an innocent man can bring down a nation. So in law, there must be proof beyond reasonable doubt. And where you fail to prove beyond reasonable doubt, it goes in favor of the accused. So in any case in the court, the burden of proof is always on the person alleging that a crime was committed. So if you say I'm a robber now, it's not for me to prove I'm a robber. It's for you to get every necessary material to show that I'm a robber. And whereby you fail to prove that, even though I'm a robber, I'll go free.
What in essence is this? In every criminal procedure, there are two cardinal things.
60 seconds, please.
Yes, there are two cardinal things. We call it mens rea, that is the intent, and the actus reus, the doing of the act itself. So it is those two, you must be able to prove it for someone to be convicted of a crime. So it's not just barefaced allegation that sends someone to court, and it is not media trial.
Thank you. You want to add to that?
It's said it all.
Okay. Ma'am, you want to add to that?
Not at all.
Okay. See, we have a whole lot to talk about, all right? But I would engage you.
And always be putting allegedly.
Okay, allegedly.
Yes, if you always use it when you're addressing any issue that has to do with crime.
Are you okay with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
So am I free now?
Or else we'll take you up.
This is VOP 90.3 FM. It's been wonderful talking to a group of lawyers from Anambra State. They are actually Anambra State Indigenous Lawyers Forum. Thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
We'll get to talk to you again anytime soon, right?
It's our pleasure.
a
We'll
pleasure.
oblige you. We're going to oblige
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Thank you so much.
Keep doing the good work.
Thank you. Thank you so very much.